Welcome back to Health Daily. I'm your host, Dr. J. Today, we will deep dive red dye number 3. It's been trending in the news. We'll find out more about what it is, what does it cause, is there an acceptable level that you can have daily? First, like we always do, let's talk about the trending topics today. First, before we do that, like, subscribe, share this video with somebody that you know can use it, and also hit that bell notification so you know when these videos are coming out. First up is Zen nicotine pouches. We talked about this yesterday, so I won't spend a lot of time on it, but the FDA has cleared the nicotine pouches to stay on the shelves for now. Whitney Cummings is next on the news. Whitney Cummings is in the news because she's talking about postpartum depression, hashtag postpartum depression. It is definitely real. But what is she talking about? She's saying that Drew Barrymore helped her through postpartum depression when she was co-starring on the revival of Hollywood Squares, if you remember that show. Whitney Cummings is a stand-up comedian, actress, writer, director. This is some of the pictures from who she is if you're not familiar with her, but this is Whitney Cummings. And so let's talk about what we came to talk about today is FDA banning red dye number 3. What is it? Let's watch a few seconds of this first.
Trip to the grocery store. The Food and Drug Administration announced today that it is banning red dye number 3. That's the synthetic additive that gives certain products their bright cherry red color. It's commonly found in candies, frozen desserts, frosting, and dietary supplements. Joining us now, NBC News medical.
All right, so red dye number 3, and I'll share this Amazon listing right here. It says currently unavailable. We do not know when this item will be back in stock. It won't be back in stock. Don't follow this page because it won't be back in stock anytime soon. But what is red dye number 3? Red dye number 3, also known as erythrocin, is a synthetic food dye that gives the certain food and drinks a bright cherry red color. And you've seen this before: candies, cakes, cookies, frozen desserts, frosting, icing, some medicines. It's very commonly used in red velvet cake, which we'll touch on here in a second. But they decided to ban this based on the Delaney clause of the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act, which it prohibits the use of any substance shown to cause cancer in humans or animals. So what happened? What did it show? First, let's talk about this. Andrew Wong points out that this food coloring is actually derived from petroleum. So this is from Hartford Healthcare. And let me go back to this Amazon listing. There's red dye number 3. Let's do a close-up on here. It says, do not breathe, mist, vapor sprays, do not get in the eyes. So kind of the common do nots. But is there acceptable level that we can have of this? What does it cause, and is there acceptable level? So one is, we're talking about the thyroid. I did a little bit of searching, and I found that it disrupts thyroid dysfunction. And what specifically does it disrupt? It disrupts the thyroid from converting from the inactive version of your thyroid hormone to the active version of your thyroid hormone. So specifically, T4 and T3, you have both. T4 is the precursor, so that's inactive, and it gets converted into T3 to become active and to maintain your metabolism. But what happens if it does not convert to T3? Well, there's a feedback loop. Your body says to the thyroid gland, hey, I don't have enough T3. Let me stimulate you some more so I can get more T3. But guess what? It puts out more T4. And so T3 never gets there if it's chronically being consumed. And we're talking about this erythrocin. If it's commonly being consumed, then it's blocking what they found out. It's blocking this conversion in rats. So they used a rat model to find this information out. And so that chronic stimulation of the thyroid gland can lead to thyroid cancer. So it can lead to a tumor. But is there an acceptable level? Because the European Union has banned this for a long time. So the European Food Safety Authority has set an acceptable daily intake of 0.1 milligram per kilogram of body weight. And that will be important. I'll come back to that. Let's share this here from Divas Can Cook. And I'm not picking on Divas Can Cook. I think she has some great recipes on here. I'm just picking a recipe of red velvet cake so we can see how much do people commonly put in red velvet cake. Let's scroll down to the bottom to find out. All right, so we're going to scroll down to the recipe. Here's the recipe. and let's scroll down. Here it is right here. All right. Red dye, 2 ounces of red dye food coloring. So let's do some math here. 2 ounces, we have to go 2 ounces to milligrams. So 2 ounces to milligrams, that would be 56,000 milligrams. So 56,699 milligrams of red dye that are in that one whole velvet cake. Granted, you're not eating the whole velvet cake, but let's go even further, and we'll take my weight. I'm 220 pounds, and that's 100 kilograms. All right. So we're converting, making it easy, 100 kilograms. Right. So if the European Union, let's go back to that. If the European Union is saying that I can have 0.1 milligram per kilogram of my body weight, let's use this handy online calculator to do some math. So I am 100 kilograms. I can have 0.1 milligrams per kilogram. So that's about 10, right? So I have 10 that I can use. So if I do that times 0.1 milligrams equals 10. Now we're on the same page. 10 is my acceptable level daily. All right. So let's go back to that red velvet cake, right? The red velvet cake that has a total of 56,699 milligrams. So let's do a little bit more math and say, how many slices of that cake, how many times do you need to slice that cake so I can have one and still stay under that acceptable limit? All right. It's 56,699, something like that. All right. Let's say divided by, right, my 10. 5,669 slices. So I can take one slice, and that way I can stay under that acceptable limit based on research. That's it for today. Make sure you're joining us every day for Health Daily. I'm your host, Dr. J. As always, I'll see you tomorrow. Make your own decisions. This is not medical advice.